Welcome to Courageous Conversation with Theresa W. Gamble, powered by Carcia Resource Professional Consultant.
Greetings, this is your host, Theresa W. Gamble, and today's topic is talking about the quality of life, the culture of trauma. This is a cultural awareness reflective podcast that I am putting together for my current doctoral program. So we're going to jump right in. There are 9 types of trauma. It's physical, emotional, economic, education, political, social, military combat, historical, and cultural trauma. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, trauma is defined as an event, series of events, or a set of circumstances that is experienced by an individual as physically or emotionally harmful or threatening and that has lasting adverse effects on the individual functioning and physical, social, emotional, or spiritual well-being. So what does that mean? So let's break it down. Physical trauma examples are an accident, physical assault, or sexual abuse, domestic violence, any life threatening situation, painful medication procedure, or even an illness. That's physical trauma. Next is emotional trauma, abandonment, neglect, betrayal of trust, such as a caregiver, death, or loss of a loved one, or even a miscarriage. A caregiver can have a threatening life illness or bullying experiences, even witnessing violence like shootings, stabbings, robberies, witnessing police activity, life threatening natural disasters. These are emotional traumas. The next is economic trauma, such as food security, poverty, lack of financial resources, chaotic housing statuses. That's economic. Anything that impact, and I would even add a non livable wage. Educational trauma is just hurtful and just discriminatory treatment from an institution or a faculty member. Political trauma, acts or threats to terrorism. This could be a threat to our democracy, which our country is currently facing right now. Military combat relates to men and women who have participated in war and fighting for our country and has returned home as what is known as post-traumatic stress syndrome. Historical and cultural trauma deals with immigrant sexism, misogyny, racism, anything around gender or sexual orientation or identity. But as an African American woman, we know there is much, much more. So the way that you need to get treatment for trauma is have someone who is experienced in trauma informed care or have a trauma informed community. And the way that you do it, it starts at home because what is done at home will transition through your child when they take it to school or you to work or to church or any other role that you may portray. So I've been studying and reading journals and learning that movement help the process of trauma. But people who facilitate trauma informed care, they have to heal their own trauma first before they can be able to try to heal someone else's. So some 3 practices that is beneficial for trauma informed practices is play, movement, and manipulation. These 3 things will really help our children, our younger generation, and traumatized students to help cope with processing the impact of trauma, and let alone even for adults. So pay more close attention, not just to verbal communication, but the non-communications that's not being said. Look at the body language. There are signs to look for. One may freeze up, the body may become still, they breathe slow, the heart rate is slow, they appears to be in a trance or daydreaming, or fear occurs or explodes into action. In other words, a reaction. Someone will call an African American woman when we explode and get angry, the mad black woman, and that's not the case. We're experiencing trauma. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was beneficial. If you want to learn more, let me know. Thank you for listening.
You've been listening to Courageous Conversation with Theresa W. Gamble. Courageous Conversation is powered by Carcier Resource Professional Consultant.